deal here. Let's see. Y'all got all your stuff together? Okay. Trying to get ready for A&T. Start this morning, practicing. Had a good practice this morning. And in the process now, trying to figure out how we can run the football on these guys because they don't seem to be giving up any rushing yard at all, any rushing yards. But, we've got a week to get prepared. We just kind of at the beginning right now trying to figure some things out, but they are impressive. Defensively, they might be as impressive as anybody we've seen all year. Maybe it's outside of Clemson and maybe Coastal. Coastal was good too, but both their linebackers are exceptional players. Their secondary is unbelievable, and their up front guys seem to be really well coached. And then offensively, they're starting now to get a little bit of a better scheme about themselves. They got quarterback Kendall's playing really good, and they got 2 or 3 running backs that seem to be doing a nice job for them. And their offensive line seems to be really coming along. So I'm thinking that this group will be a little bit improved each week from here on in. So we need to catch them now, because if they keep improving the way I see them improving, week in and week out, by the end of the year, they're really going to be good. It might be pretty good right now. Okay, shoot.
Well, Coach, when you look at this game and you look at A&T, in some ways do you see two teams that basically are looking at almost like they're looking at a mirror because they almost mirrored each other? Do you understand?
Well, I'm sure we've got some similarities. We both are probably led by offenses, and it would probably rather, if anything else, that we don't let our offenses mess it up. We led by defenses, I guess was what I should have said. We hope that our offenses wouldn't mess it up. We both seem to work pretty good at the kicking game, and we've had our good moments and bad moments. They had a punt blocked last week too, so they've had some issues that way. They blocked a punt last week also, so you can tell that they're putting a lot of effort into their preparation of their special teams. So, yeah, I guess we could be kind of similar.
I guess when you look at this group now, how much did last year maybe change the dynamics because you had dominated for so long? They had that long stretch of losses after the 2003 game. Do you think now it's a different A&T from a mindset in terms of they now feel as though they can win instead of years past where it felt as though they couldn't?
Yeah, I'm sure that was maybe one of the first indications to them that they could play with pretty much anybody. And I'm sure it's also what gave them confidence toward the end of the year, that they could come into the season and say, for instance, win a game against Appalachian State or those kind of folk. But I think that Appy win is what's really giving them the steam now to think that they can beat anybody, and I'm sure they feel that they can beat anybody in the classification at this point. So they're riding high, and their confidence is high. And, it'll be a chore for us to actually go out there and be able to match up with them.
How much did last year's game also change your approach towards special teams?
Some, everything that happens, is somewhat a situation that affects you. We've changed some things. We've continued to work on trying to fix some things that are sometimes ailing us in the special teams game. This past Saturday. So, it's a work in progress. I think everything is sort of what happened to you last, and you got to make sure that you to react to those things in a way that you try to get them fixed.
Yes, going back to this past Saturday, of course, other than the performance of the running game, the noticeable point of the game was the penalties. Having looked back at the film, what did you see?
Well, I see some penalties that's probably legitimate. I think I see some penalties that I thought a little bit ticky-tack, but, it is what it is. We've got to do a better job of disciplining ourselves to not make some of the penalties. We've addressed them all here in the last couple of days. I'm really, really disturbed about some of the personal foul kinds of penalties. The late hit that we had on the quarterback, the celebration after the touchdown. Some of that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff that we got to be smarter than to continuously commit. But our guys enjoying themselves and having a good time and playing the game, and that's part of it too. I liked having some fun too on the football field, and they want to try to play in a way where they're kind of free and easy that way. So we've got to figure out how to continue to enjoy ourselves but play within the rules.
Also had an issue where
Come on, Leroy.
you had targeting issue in that game where it was reversed by the replay. Is there any concern moving forward when games where you don't have replay that?
Well,
that
now,
hurt?
I don't think we had a targeting call in that game. I think we had an unnecessary roughness call that was not even considered for replay. I don't think it was called targeting from the very beginning. I think it just called unnecessary roughness. But there's always concern that that the possibility that does exist that you could get one of those calls in a situation where you can lose the guy for the rest of the game. And you're never deep enough in the secondary to lose guys that way, but we are working our way through these particular situations now as as we get through this first year, and as we get a little bit better feel for what is and what isn't a situation where a guy will be disqualified. I think we'll probably get on a little bit firmer ground, get a little bit better understanding. But at this point, we kind of feel our way through it, and the best part about it is I think pretty much all of our games, for the rest of this month will be televised. So, you get some immediate feedback in a way that you can probably, have a second opinion on a situation now that you wouldn't have, if a game was not televised. So it looked like we got a chance to at least have that available to us for the next month or so.
What's the one thing that concerns you most about the Aggies?
You don't seem to be able to they don't give up much on defense at all. They're really good in the secondary, so you don't get much of a throw attack against them. And nobody's ever been able to run the ball very good against them. So, they've been about as stingy defensively as anybody that we've seen in some time. And they remind you a bunch of they like ourselves. They're not very. It's a whole team full of guys who can run. They're extremely sudden in all positions. They do a good job of keeping a lot of eyes on the football all the time. So they break and run to the football extremely well. So they're a tough team to deal with on defense.
The most rangy defense you faced in recent time?
Well, we played Clemson and Texas A&M. Them guys, those guys have a little bit different kind of defense too than what we're usually accustomed to. But they are one of the better defenses that we've seen in a while. You're right, yeah.
Quan West had 6 receptions. The last couple of games, he seems to be becoming more and more involved with the offense.
Yeah, he does seem to be getting a little bit better feel for things, and we're getting a little bit better understanding of how to get into football. He's a bigger, physical style kind of outside receiver. We would like to try to see if we can continue to develop a couple more guys that way too. I'm hoping that Dennis Rowe can be a guy of that sort too, and he seems to be kind of catching on. And it appears that we got enough guys now where we can spread the ball around some. If that's the case, then I think it makes us a lot less predictable that way.
With all the running backs you have that are ahead of the police you have now, you must be pleased with how your running game is still operating.
I am. It was a big concern last week this time when we had lost down to where we are now, that these guys might not necessarily be able to, carry the load the way they did, the way they have. And for them to have come in here and done what they did this past weekend was extremely, extremely exciting to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing where these guys can go from here, because you know, it gives us the ability to make sure that those guys that we do have out there, we don't rush them back any quicker than we need to, because these guys have shown that they deserve to play.
Given that this is going to be 2 games in a span of 12 days, does that sort of put in, are you basically having to get 2 game plans together at the same time?
Not necessarily. You know, we'll do some little odds and end things to try to get some of the time element out of our next preparation. But we'll put all of our attention on this one preparation. And the only thing that we'll do is we might do some of the actual clerical work that you got to do to break down some of the film and that kind of stuff.
You haven't played in Dome in quite a while. Any special things you have to do to prepare for Saturday?
Well, I hope we have played a Dome in a while. We played in Indianapolis last year, and it didn't go well at all. And you know, we need to be reminded of the fact that the last time we played inside, it was not good. So let's hope that we play a lot better than we did the last time we did inside.